Have you ever wondered what it's like to attend court mediation and not know how to answer the questions asked, let alone know what to ask for or what you're entitled to? Are you fearful of parenting alone? Want to learn your rights? Are you fearful that you might lose the right to see your children during a custody battle? Has there been domestic violence in your home and you fear telling anyone you know that you want out? Are you concerned your responsibilities as a divorcee and managing co-parenting and work at the same time is just not possible? Are you thinking or procrastinating divorcing out of fear of the unknown and unsure if now is the right time? Have you been physically and verbally abused? No, I feel you. I've been there too. You may be much like I was 15 years ago when I had no family nearby for support and needed to figure things out on my own and wondered how to get out of a bad marriage that quickly went from a fairy tale wedding into a vindictive rage of sorts. And I'm here to tell you that all changes for you now. Your earth angel has arrived. I am the exact experienced person you need to help you pull you out of your dilemma into the other side of fear. I am that bridge, if you will, that gets you from a living hell to inner peace, independence, and confidence. My name is Barbie Ladabisi. I am a proud mother too. I had a career only many would have dreamed of with a communications degree from a reputable school and lived life above average. Then came that day when I was introduced to a blind date. We courted for 2 years before deciding to marry. I did, like most couples do, eventually introduce my then fiance to my inner circles and those I love. And, it all tested out just fine. Most specifically, I was testing the relationship to determine if it was going to be a lasting one, or at least I was led to believe it was. I got married in a beautiful temple where covenants were entered into, those oaths, to discover not long after this person was anything but who they said or committed to be. There came that day where I had had enough of the inner conflict I was experiencing, the lack of connection and loneliness I was experiencing, the restrictions I felt, and most importantly, the vulgarity and the physical abuse I was experiencing, that I eventually chose to file for divorce after a domestic violence matter. But my story gets better. I was in my 3rd trimester when I made the decision, and also very bedridden from the stress. I was about to have my first child with someone who had previously been married and divorced and had taken custody of his prior marriage, meaning the children. So as you can imagine, I was scared stiff. So out of fear, I second-guessed myself and decided to reverse my divorce and went back. I stayed in the marriage through the entire labor process, but deep down, those feelings I mentioned previously had not changed. I was only staying in the relationship because I did not want to face parenting alone at that time. So now let's fast forward to today. I chose to not only marry this person once, but twice, and have authored and self-published a #1 best-selling book about the legal process just for you. My journey has been one that we typically hear of and see in the movies. It's certainly not traditional. It ran its course with its many lows. I have a former spouse who finds great pleasure in annually taking me to court over custody matters because he can. But I believe it's more because he wants to aggravate me and cannot stand to see me thrive and move past him. It's what many would classify as obsession. Your case may be completely different than mine, or many others which I personally witnessed in a courtroom, or even those who I had the personal privilege to assist with theirs. But one thing stands, and that is when you know it's time. You must act upon those promptings and listen to your intuition. Your situation may not be as extreme as mine. You're just beginning, but wanted to paint that picture for you, if you will, that you are not alone. I've walked this road you're about to embark in, and I want you to know I am here for you. I've made this my life passion. I love and care greatly for families and respect its institution. And although I have gone through extreme measures, I am showing up for you today to show you what you should expect during your court mediation, even if you choose to settle your differences outside of court, which I can help you there as well. But for all intent and purposes today, I want to thank you. Thank you for being here with me. I value your time, your energy, and hope to bring some light what exactly it is that you need to be clear on as it relates to your co-parenting plan. Mediation in this case is a meeting you and the other parent have with a court appointed official, to figure out your co-parenting plans that both serve on your lifestyles and your schedules, which obviously include your children. It is essential to finalize your divorce. It's an important document that gets filed along with other important documents that finalize your dissolution. For today's intentions, I wish to walk you through 10 must strategies to help you and your family be successful at arriving at an effective co-parenting plan that works. Here they are. You may have heard the word legal custody, physical custody, joint or sole custody. 1. Determine with the other parent how you will share custody and understand the following. Legal custody is who makes that important decision for your children. It relates to healthcare, it relates to education and welfare. Physical custody, on the other hand, is who your children will live with. Joint custody is where your children will live, is where both parents share the right and responsibilities to make the important decisions about those issues, health, education, and welfare. And then we have sole custody, where only one parent has the right and responsibility to make the important decisions about the health, again, education, and welfare of their child. It is essential that you address each health practitioner who examines or treats your children, and this includes dentists, pediatricians, therapists, psychologists, therapists, anyone who is considered an expert. Any authorization leading to action necessary to protect the health and welfare of the children, like making emergency decisions, let's say if the unfortunate circumstance would occur, like such as a hospital visit or a matter of broken bone, such, or police matters and that matter, you must allow that authorization to take action. And that's important as to who's going to be handling those issues or how are they going to be authorized. Also, parents' access to children's school, medical, and dental records are important. Parents being designated as a person the children's school is to contact needs to be updated. Notification of parents' current address upon relocating, including telephone numbers for work and home, the sooner the better, as in a few days. You do not want to leave a parent guessing. Would you want to be left guessing? Particularly, do this when they are scheduled to see their child, because the last thing you want is an angered parent that knocks on your door or meets you where you have agreed and you don't show up to exchange the child. Also, the name of the school or other places where children spend 4 days or longer, it's important to share with that parent. If you travel for work, you should give the other parent what it's called the right of refusal, meaning you ask if they are able to care for the children in your absence while you are gone. Notification of proposed move of children. If you plan to relocate your child to a different state, you must immediately notify the other parent and the court. You must not leave unless you have written documented consent. It is okay with the other parent. That is illegal, and I can't overemphasize it. you must have some written documentation. Parents must communicate in the best of faith matters related to the health, again, education, and welfare of their children. 2. My second point, determine physical custody. Where will the children live? Where is their primary home? That should be established. 3. Timeshare schedule. When will children be with mom? When will children be with dad? When will children be in childcare? And include the name of the place, address, telephone number, and a contact. 4th point, which is the greatest and the most time consuming during mediation. And that is those special holidays that we all love, special days such as birthdays, possibly Monday holidays, school breaks, schedules. I will need to share with you those related to Thanksgiving, winter, and spring break and summer breaks are important. Perhaps you may want to label yourself as an even year parent and the other one is an odd year parent. One parent takes the first half while the other takes the second half, which typically these holidays average about 2 weeks. Some may be shorter and those can be split in half, but I encourage you to be very articulate as to when those are and set them up in a rotating sort of schedule, if you will, and I help you with this as well. When it comes to vacation and travel outside of the States require written notice, kind of like what we said earlier. Every year, each parent does have their right to vacation with their children. It may vary state to state, but for the most part is 21 consecutive days. Transportation and exchanges, it's important to cover. And I'll tell you what, because you must be licensed and you must be insured. You must not be intoxicated. Those typical laws that are enforced must apply here. And particular when it comes to the restraint, specifically seatbelts, those must be enforced at all times, particular when the child is an infant. The direction of the seat, the size of the seat, these things are very important to consider. And there shall be no conflict discussions in the interim of those exchanges or communicating with the child about anything that is not relevant to them, which typically does not need to be discussed. 7th point is telephonic and audio communication. Schedule times and sources used. Will it be done through Facebook? Will you communicate telephonically? Be specific of the times and be certain not to abuse the time on the phone, particularly when the child is in the care of the other parent. You do not know what is planned for the day. So sitting on the phone and playing games and extending the visitation just adds more conflict for the relationship, and in doing so will cause friction between you and the other parent. 8th point, restraints in your conduct. Children must not be used as messengers. Note down how you desire to communicate, to discuss your thoughts. If you communicate via phone without getting hung up on or yelled at, then go for it. If not, manage all of your communication via email. Do not allow children to be exposed to any court or financial matters, period. That is for adults. Number 9. Parental communication shall occur using an online program, and establish that online communication account with a portal that you absolutely trust. I personally recommend Talking Parents. It's one that I use because it allows you the flexibility to communicate when you need to. It notifies you the date and time that that email was opened by the other parent, and it allows the court to see your communication should it be necessary. My last point is additional additional orders. Anything that you see that absent of what I have shared with you that could be applied in your specific instance in your life or in your children's life, I highly advise that you implement it and anticipate your babysitting expenses if you have younger children. Travel expenses to accommodate the other parent, may it be for traveling or out of state travel, and consider the cost for fuel, perhaps parking. If you're going to share the cost in airfare, I recommend that that is specified in the document. If not, if only one person's going to be responsible for that, well, perhaps they get to be the ones to book the reservation after they communicate with you that the time that they will be visiting is okay. So there's much that you can implement as additional or make requests for. So when we talk about tactics and strategies, it's really an action or a strategy, if you will, that is carefully planned to achieve at a specific end. We have something in mind that we want to accomplish. And that's when strategy and tactics come into being. The key here is you ask for what you envision, what it is that you want, what is important to you. Keep in mind that both you and your spouse work schedules do not really or possibly may not coincide. They don't look alike. So how quickly will they be available, let's say for emergencies when there isn't? What are their habits like sports? What is their season? When do they watch these events? When do they attend these events? You can work knowing those habits. These are strategies to your benefit, especially for school breaks. Let's think about any traveling to and from the exchanges, meaning how will they occur in your home or in a public setting? Is it going to be at the local library? Is it going to be at the shopping center? Those are critical. And as it relates to you moving on with dating, I don't advise it until after your divorce. Reserve time for you and socializing with friends. We all need our time, our space. It's super important for you and your mindset. When will your children get to visit with their family members is another biggie that we haven't discussed. So when is the ideal time for you? Family events. Also consider both of your parenting styles. Will the rules you have in place mirror those of your exes? Will they support you with your rules? The doctor routine visits should be shared with the other parent. How will you communicate to one another to keep each other informed of your children's academics, extracurricular activities, any updates, cancellations? Email is a must, I tell you. One can do so effectively. It will serve as an official document should you require it in a future date for court. So I know I've shared an awful lot today about mediation, and I'm hoping you were taking notes. So let's discuss further. I never like to leave the scene of learning without revisiting what I have learned. So I am going to give you one last counsel. As a journalist, I've been programmed to always do everything when it comes to writing, when it comes to just physically thinking with my 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why. And there's an added implement of how, which is also important. So I thought today I'd share with you the who of mediation. You must anticipate the natural tendencies, and this is for strategies, and characteristics of the person you are dealing with. Their tendencies to react when they're challenged or pushed. You know them best, and who better than you can determine yours and your children's needs? Not an attorney, not the courts, and I say so respectively. They have the purest of intentions, but they are unfamiliar with how you manage your day-to-day schedule or interactions with your children. The what? What precisely do you want that you feel entitled to that could be negotiated if possibly challenged? What do you think they want? And sit on that thought. And what specific thing are you willing to let go of? Remember, if circumstances change, you can always return to the drawing board. When having a goal and planning it is key to achieving anything in life, like is the case in mediation. Once the document for dissolution has been filed and served to your spouse, there is a number of days that you must have them served to allow them time to respond before that specific custody and visitation hearing with the mediation or prior to the mediation, before your hearing date, which means you must attend mediation before the custody hearing. Mediation is where all this knowledge I am teaching you today comes into play. The where. The location for mediation is typically inside an office where the court is located. Your sessions can last 1 to 2 hours and upwards from there. It all depends on the nature of the other parent. Maybe it could be the disgruntled parent. If they're nagging, if they're high maintenance, you never know. During mediation, the mediator will attempt to get you and your spouse to plan on the spot the key aspects of your daily schedule, many of which are implemented into the plan and are essential to the constant and ongoing communication that is going to be taking place. The why. There are many benefits to having a called parenting plan, but the primary reason is because studies have shown that couples are more apt to raise well-balanced children who are confident, who are resilient, who are academically successful, and easily adapt to society changes. The how. Rest assured, you too can overcome and do what I have achieved. Acknowledge what currently is and own your feelings because we know they are real. Just know that after swimming upstream, you will start coasting its opposite direction. The uphill battle will be a little different, but your stress, the one that is currently weighing you down, is only temporary. Your transformation will be amazing. We all have some obstacles in our lives to overcome. And my friend, it's up to us to learn the lesson and lean into that challenge. It is here where the growth becomes massive and the impact that experience creates in our lives and those who we come into contact with. There's a caveat here. Please do not seek to manipulate, control, irritate, make jealous the other parent. Instead, focus that energy in you and your children, building a new life and having well-being. I know this time is especially sensitive for you, but you must spiritually and entirely remove yourself from the conflict in order to move forward. Otherwise, you will remain stuck. Being stuck keeps you feeling uncertain and stagnant. One of the biggest lessons I've learned not to do. The fastest way forward in this case is just to move forward. This is when you get to pick up that momentum in your life. And the best part is that doing so will empower you. It'll give you that confidence, which in turn will keep you moving forward in the direction that you desire. Today, I want to invite you to work with me. I have an amazing signature course that I have designed especially for you. It is titled Strategic Uncoupling. It's a course I wish I had at the time when I was going through all the pain that I experienced. That is at a time when I was poorer than a church mouse and could no longer afford an attorney. In it, I teach about mindset, division of property, becoming resourceful and having self-reliance. And I teach you about what to expect for move-away cases if that should be of interest to you, obtaining spousal support, and all the caveats, if you will, that tie into it, such as imputing income, what love is and what it is not, how to co-parent like it really, really matters and be a hero, how to give respect to a former spouse who has hurt you, drafting that dreaded divorce agreement. Doesn't really need to be that way, and how to argue where everyone ends up winning. and pediatric evaluation and tests that you must undergo, and so much more. But that is not all. By enrolling, you get direct access to being coached one-on-one with me. It happens weekly for 12 weeks or as needed, depending on your specific case. You get access to join my private community named Mr. and Mrs. X. And you get free tickets to my annual Winter Love Summit. You also get a copy of my Amazon #1 best-selling ebook titled Divorce in the World of Family Law, Everything You Need to Know Without an Attorney, which was designed to be a companion to this course. You will also get another companion PDF workbook that acts like your very own journal. Because of the sensitive nature of divorce and custody, I have limited number of seats, and I am opening this course again soon, so I encourage you to enroll or schedule a call with me to determine if this is the right fit for you. I am always within reach via my website, which is barbielativisi.com. If you scroll towards the very bottom, you can schedule a time there with me. On a different note, you can also spot me on YouTube for weekly uploads to stay in your divorce A game. And please feel free to share any of my content on social media. In closing, I thought I would share a few of the beautiful testimonies that I have received. Take a look. Time for Q&A. So I've had many questions asked of my program, and I want to take this opportunity to share with you my responses. And I'll address a few of those questions. So how do I know if this course is right for me? I will respond, if you are divorcing, it is perfect for you. I teach and provide all the necessary tools to get you through the other side of fear, my friend. There was another question here. What if my spouse hires an attorney? Rest assured, I've got you covered. I connect you to my legal affiliate in your state. Typically, it's the top ranked law firm in the state who gives you the legal advice you need, while I act as your strategist to get you through the whole process, your dissolution, painless and stress-free. Can I represent myself in court and my spouse as an attorney? Absolutely. Don't be fooled by their attorney. I've been living consistently now in court for 15 years and been up against them in trials, and each time have proven to succeed because I was clear in my intention and knew my rights. And that is key. The court must follow parental rights, and you are entitled to many of them. So don't forget that. How will your course benefit me? Okay, well, you will learn my exact strategies and skills used to overcome all that coincides with litigating. I prepare you mentally and spiritually and do not allow fear to drag you down. When you get finished with me, you will think and see everything very different, because I've outlived all the games and know how to manage them in a way that does not hurt anyone. How can I trust you will be able to help me get past this nightmare in my life? Remember, I live to tell, to write, and to teach about it. What I do is my life work. It's not a side hustle. I am proud of my work I've created and how it's impacted lives and changed the mindset to diffuse conflict that oftentimes affects our children. I do this for them. Can you get me and my spouse through a divorce without having to go to court? Yes. This is my specialty. The more rational the couple I work with is during the divorce process, outside of court, the more amicable the relationship will be, and hence everyone involved, including your children, end up winning because the thousands of dollars you would have used to retain that one attorney, you would have kept for you and your family. There will be no bankruptcies or shortage of anyone not having a place to call home. But Barbie, can you really help me? Even if I have a criminal record? My answer is yes. Does your course offer a guarantee? Yes, it does. It's a 30-day money back guarantee. Because we are working weekly for 12 weeks, you will only get access to the weekly content. So you can determine in the very first months of working with me if the course will serve you or your family. So how long did it take you to create this course? Oh, it took me a little over a year. Aside from my life experiences, lots of research went into it and mentoring expenses to help me deliver the very best possible courses I could create, covering all that the divorce process entails. Most divorces can average a year plus with attorneys. This course was intended to drastically reduce that time. The entire process can be achieved within 3 months, give and take, and this is huge. Last question. If I am unable to join our meeting, can I reschedule? Absolutely. I am accessible and I will share those details once you are enrolled. Just know that it is better to have loved than not have loved at all. And happiness is a choice for you. You know, it may take a little time to shift your mindset and catch momentum, as I like to say. But when we begin, we are immediately diving right to it because in momentum is where we encounter that progress. So if you're ready for a new life, one that is free of all this conflict and friction, and you want to declare your independence back, let's do this. Please click on the link below. I have included that link on the comments section for you. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It's great to meet you. Please let's stay connected and ensure to follow me on my social media platforms for relationship advice too. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys on the bright side. Take care.